Hi, I'm Natasha Marchewka.
And I'm Kim Wilson, and
And
this
this is
is Speechless.
Speechless. Speechless.
Welcome to our behind the scenes take on real life in VO, where we share stories, resources, and our unsolicited opinions.
Hi, thank you. What are you drinking? What is that? A pitcher of water? What? I was expecting a little teacup.
I started drinking out of this so I can measure instead of buying like a $50 water bottle. It's just a measuring cup.
Yeah, that's just be a lot of accidents in my booth.
That's true. I'm pretty clumsy, but so far so good.
Oh my God, that's
More of these
hilarious.
What are you drinking, Kim?
Today, I am drinking Polar Springs sparkling water.
Oh, so Polar Springs has a sparkling water too. I've only known them to have like from
What?
the spring.
Oh, yeah. No, they
Or is that Poland's? That's Poland Springs. Okay, that's a different one. You know, the East Coast bottled water, Poland Springs. I've never heard of Polar Springs. Okay.
Polar. Actually, there's no springs on this can at all. It's just polar.
Seltzer. It says seltzer.
It's just seltzer. That's
Okay,
what I'm
cool.
drinking. Oh my gosh. Okay, people, I am so sorry. Today's topic is probably my favorite because it's the most embarrassing one.
Tell them.
I need to know, Natasha, what is your most embarrassing thing that you had to read?
Well, I think you know already.
I
but
do.
I'm thinking
I want you to say it out loud.
Okay, it's about fecal swabs.
I
And
mean,
you?
in a medical context, that makes sense, right? So my most well, it's not embarrassing, but I had, of course, to do the shape of poo. It was
Of course.
it was like
The Shape of Poo.
banana shape.
That was your.
Yeah, there was like lots of different shapes, and one of them was like banana shape.
I want to hear it. I want to hear about the Shape of Poo because I bet you it tells you the ideal shape and the not so ideal shape.
It does. It
Or
does.
shapes,
It was
plural.
very educational. Well,
Anyway.
anyway,
So what are we talking about
we're
today?
talking about medical narration
Oh.
and how to get through it if you've never done it, or if you've done it, some tips, tricks, and some ideas to help you get through medical narration. Do you do any medical narration?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I
You
did
do?
some. Yeah, I do. I mean,
Do you
I'm
do it?
not.
Go ahead.
It's not. I don't profess to be a medical narrator, but I do it frequently, just because we do a lot of different things in
I know.
VO.
I
But
know.
I really,
Agreed.
we're missing the punchline. I really wanted to share. So
Oh.
today's topic is getting your shit together for medical sessions.
Oh, I love it.
Right.
That was a good one. That was really good.
Good, thanks. I do want to do a couple of shout outs because there's many coaches, but there are two for sure that I know specialize in helping you with medical narration, helping voice talent with medical narration, and also very good at it in their own right. And that's Debbie Irwin. She has a whole program on medical narration. She calls her students her med students.
I love it.
And Julie Williams also, I believe, teaches medical narration.
know
really
Julie
good
Williams
to
did
help
that
you.
too.
Mhm. A lot of people do. I think it's really important because we get a lot of random jobs. But what I want to know, because I know you, Kim, do a lot of medical narration.
I do.
And you do it in studio with an engineer in studio. I do it at home and have my little tips on how to get my shit together for that.
Right.
What are your recommendations for getting your stuff together for medical narration? How do you cope with it, especially when you're being directed? And I mean, we talk about mustache sweat.
I know.
This
is true.
Stressful.
It is very stressful to go in, and I have to be really super rested, and I have to get that script a day in advance. It's not always, they don't always send it a day in advance. Sometimes you get it in the morning and you've got an hour to prepare. But, it's I'm not going to lie, it's hard and it doesn't come easy to me. But what I do to help myself is I look up that subject, say it's on diabetes or say it's on something, and it's let's say it's on diabetes, and it's all this medical jargon plus names of medications that have, like 26 syllables and you don't know how to pronounce it. If you go onto YouTube and you look up these words, inevitably a doctor or someone is going to be talking about it, or they will have an animation on it. And the more you can learn about what you're talking about, the easier it is, obviously, to narrate whatever the script is. And in terms of pronunciations, I am terrible at it. So I really need to, I need muscle memory. I need to sing the words. I need to learn in, out, backwards, frontwards, upside down, how to say that word. And lots of times you'll go on YouTube and you'll find the pronunciation of the word, or Merriam-Webster will have a medical section, and you can hit a little button and it'll say the word for you. But a lot of times the client will pronounce it in their own way.
Yes. So
you need to learn both ways before you go in. And it's hard, but an easy thing to do is to, go through the script and write above it in phonetic, spell it out how you think it's supposed to sound, and it'll just roll off your tongue. I mean, for me, that has really been helpful.
You brought up so many good points that I want to address. One of them, Mark Cashman, one of his tips, he's a prolific voiceover coach and tip giver. Mouth, brain, eye coordination, eye, brain, mouth coordination.
Yep.
And I think you addressed that with getting enough sleep, because I have, on any given day, that thing is hard to,
Right.
But the thing that I do is generally ask for or pray for a scratch track of the whole entire script, so that I'm listening. I got one today. I got to listen to it over and over again. And so,
that's
thankfully,
a terrific idea.
The engineer today said, "Oh, you really did your homework." I listened to the recording of, a 10-minute recording several times. And even then, like you say about pronouncing, the client pronounces a word differently. I heard the original video and was pronouncing, and then the client said, "Isn't it pronounced such and such? Can we have both?" It's like, whatever you want.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do that a lot. They'll have you read things twice and have you pronounce that medication name differently every time.
Yeah. Kim, so you're going into a studio, and I find, because I'm at home a lot, well, all the time, recording, I have access to water and all the things.
Yeah.
But sometimes, even just being at home, my stomach will grumble, and our mics are so powerful, you hear it.
Oh my gosh, that happens in every session. In fact, one session with the same studio, my stomach was growling so bad. Look at your face. My stomach was growling so bad. And the client was in the studio too. And the engineer goes, "Do you need a cracker?" I was like, that's funny.
Well, what?
Mortified. Like, I'm like starting to sweat now. I'm like, so what I do,
part of the problem is being prepared for like 2-hour session. What do you do to prepare?
I'm getting to it.
Session? Okay, sorry.
I eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich exactly 30 minutes before. I've timed it out for my body. Like, if I have protein and fat, my stomach is happy. So protein and fat.
A peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Yeah. Jam? And jam, whatever. But people are going to be like, peanut butter dries your mouth out. Yeah, it does. But you don't want Alan in the booth being like, in front of the client, "Do you need a cracker?" You don't. Nobody wants that. So eat your fucking peanut butter.
Okay, so exactly 30 minutes before.
Yeah.
What else do you do? Like, in the studio, in the car, in the waiting room before you go into these medical sessions?
Yeah, well, sometimes I will listen to those YouTube medical animations over and over again, just so I get to learn about the product that I'm talking about. Sometimes I meditate. I think it's really important to be really grounded and centered in your mind, super clear. Because I don't know about you, but my mind, my brain can sometimes get stuck, and I'll be like, and the immuno,
Oh, totally.
Like by the seventh time, I'm like, can we come back to that at the end of the session? Like that's
Well,
me.
that was one of your tips.
Yes.
Ask them, can we come back to that? That's a great tip. I never ask for that.
But no one told me that we're human beings in the booth and that this stuff happens. And I expected perfection. And it wasn't until I started asking for what I needed that I realized, oh, it's okay. This is normal. We're human beings. Right.
I'm amazed sometimes, medical or not, I'll have a client, if it's really difficult, technical, they're like, yeah, that's hard. I couldn't see it, and give you a lot of empathy. So
it's varsity, right?
Yeah. But I do think that taking a medical narration workshop, webinar, or even whole course would help with some of those tips. I have
absolutely
maybe taken one, but you learn by making mistakes. So
you do learn by making
advice
mistakes
and get someone else to make the mistakes and learn from them.
And get someone to make a sandwich for you.
Good way to wrap it up. Awesome. Thank you for all those tips.
You're welcome. So guys, go ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna leave some resources below, so please do comment. We will respond to comments. Click to subscribe, because as soon as we have a new episode that you have to watch, you'll want to know. And you can email us, but we might not
answer you back.
But
that's okay. I'll read it.
And remember, fuck it.
Fuck it.
Let's be awesome now.
Yeah.
You've got shit to do.
Yeah, and so do you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Speechless.